We're back. All righty then. Woo. All right, y'all.
Get your breath there,
Get
Sister
your
Carl.
breath. We ready to get this show popping. Okay, it's time for the introduction of our amazing guest. And again, this is Brother Carter and the men's show, Brother Carter.
Oh, really?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's so good. I'm just excited about this.
I know you didn't talk to you know what off today. But we expect that out of you, though. Yeah. So you just keep doing what you do.
That's why we do it like that.
You keep doing what you do. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna do the intro.
Well, that's what we didn't get uploaded. You're just gonna introduce everyone.
Oh, okay. All right. Mm-hmm. All right. So here we go then.
Okay. That's okay. Here we go. Go ahead. You're gonna introduce everybody.
Yeah.
You can't do it now,
right?
Because
I'm used to hearing my dun 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 dun.
I know.
So I'm trying to throw it off right now.
There you go.
Thank you, Abigail. Yeah. So today's show is our Real Father, Real Man episode, and we're talking about playing the role today. Men playing the role, and so coming to the set today. We have some very prominent and strong brothers on the show today that's going to give us the real, should I say, on being a real father, real man, and playing the role of being, not actually playing the role, because I don't like to say the scene of playing a role, but but we have to play a role to get things in order. So all right. Without further ado, to my right, we have Brother Doc, the TC. Doc, introduce yourself. Tell people a little bit about yourself, and just to get this show started.
How y'all doing, man? I appreciate everybody that's tuned in with us today. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, so we definitely appreciate that. So I'm Doc Amy. I'm from Texas City, Texas. What else you want me to give?
Come on, man.
Who are you? How did you end up here? What do you do? What
wow!
So it's short and sweet.
Okay, so me, I come.
This is the time to toot your own horn.
Yeah. So my biological father was murdered when I was 6 months old. He got shot in the face in the middle of a dice game. When I was 6 months old, my mom, and she don't really like me to say this, but it's true, and it's a part of our story. But I need her to understand that. Hey, you got through this. You need to let people know this is where I was at and this is where I'm at.
There you go.
So when I was 5 years old, my mother was on crack cocaine. And so me and my brother had to go and live with my grandmother. My grandmother was working 2 jobs, taking care of some of her kids and her kids' to do what she could. And so by the age of 11, I became a product of my environment and just doing what I saw everybody else doing. By the age of 13, I dropped out of school. By the age of 17, I had 2 girls pregnant at the same time. By the age of 21, I was on my first trip to prison. By the age of 28, I was sitting in prison for the 3rd time, cleaning up hog mess as a job.
Come on now.
And I can remember getting my parole denied and just going in the corner and saying, God, like if you real, like everybody say you real, you'll get me out of this, man. Hey, and if you get me out of this, I'm done, man. Because I'm fixing to show people it don't matter where you come from, what you've been through, the color of your skin, your last name, or the community that you grew up in. The only thing that matters is what do you believe about what God has placed inside of you, and are you going to go give it to the world?
Come on now.
And when you grab a hold of that, it's not a lot that can hold you back.
Come on now. Well, that's a little bit of his story.
Yeah, that's a little bit of it.
When I told y'all this was to be a hot show, I'm just going to sit
back. Doc is also a viral genius as far as promoting himself and in the world of
social media,
encouraging.
Hey, but look, check this out. It ain't even really me. You feel what I'm saying? Because see, here's the thing, right? Like we said earlier, God needs human participation, and I just made myself available. He not looking for qualification.
He ain't looking for qualification.
He ain't looking for qualification.
Just
participation and availability.
There you go.
And I showed up.
Yeah.
And he showed out.
Yeah. And so y'all just heard from my street pastor here, Brother Doc. And so on the next to him is our pastor of church there.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, so come on up to the mic and tell the people a little bit about yourself, sir.
Well, I'm Pastor Walters, Gregor T. Walters, Senior Pastor of Miracle Church, and I'm excited. I'm always excited to be with you guys, and love to see the advancement that God is doing in your life. We started the Miracle Church some years ago when I went through a tragedy, and God said, "I'm going to make your life a miracle and teach people how to bring miracles in their life by following the principles of God and through faith." And me and my lovely wife Robin, which she's a miracle too, have been doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And we realized that God had put us here for a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I have a background of making some mistakes and going the wrong way, and I'm glad it happened to a certain extent, so I can help others. And some things you're ashamed of, or some things you're not, and you can't be ashamed of where God brought you from.
No.
Yeah.
So you can't have a money without going through a test.
You can't.
And so God takes us through these tests so we can have a money at the end of the story. You know what I'm saying?
That's correct.
Yes, sir. But
So,
continue.
Pastoring church, traveling around preaching, being on different radio programs, being on TV, and I was a crack addict. I was an alcoholic. I was a high school dropout. Tell everybody I was in love with alcohol and crave for crack. Now I love God and I crave for His word.
Come on now.
And I'm not ashamed of that. I don't look like it, but I'm not ashamed of it.
Come on, Jesus.
I'm not ashamed to tell people where God brought me from. And I believe in the miracle working power of God. And that's my assignment.
Yeah.
And I don't steer away from that. But once again, thank you guys for
God bless you,
God
man.
in my life. That's what I love. I met you guys once before,
Yes.
and you saw God in my life. Then you had me to bring my wife on, and I love that about you guys. And even though when you find out about a person past, you're not just putting them to the side. You're saying, "I love y'all. I'm gonna invite you where you could tell your story."
Right.
Just like if somebody didn't have a past like that.
Right.
And I love you guys so much from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah, God bless you.
And,
God bless you.
Thank you.
Robin wanted to come with me and didn't want me to come by myself.
She know you up in age now, so she needs to see for you and all this guy.
Hey, I need you to make it home, sir. What you mean? Yeah, I'm taking you.
All right. Let's do this introduction.
Yes, sir. So on live stream we have Justin B. Long. Justin, tell people a little bit about yourself. They already know you, but tell them.
Well, Brother Carter, I prepared a special little intro for myself today because last month you told me that I sound like a rapper because I can put some words together. So I took that as a permission slip to make a little rhyme. I'm going to do it for you today. Please bear in mind, I am a white guy. I don't have any rhythm. I have a lot of practice.
No, we didn't know that, brother.
All right, here we go.
From another mother.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right. I'm the J to the B to the LONG, and I'm here because I changed my life so drastically. I was a raging alcoholic. Yeah, everybody saw it. A product of abuse and trauma, stereotype is chronic, but I got some therapy. Sober by 33. I found some folks who taught me how to change the way I think. I used to hate myself, my life a living hell. But then I learned who I really am and learned to love the JBL. I'm free.
Come on now.
Take this vulnerability. We talk about our weakness. Our failure's not uniqueness. I rap with Brother Carter on a higher level of deepness. So welcome to the show. Don't listen for the differences. Similarities is where it is. The Carter crew will help with this. You just might find some inner bliss on the L and V with Val and me. I'm the J to the B to the LONG, and I'm here to tell you how it is.
JBL, JB, Justin B.
Oh, baby. Do you need a manager?
Let me tell y'all this here. JB has been faithful and supporting the Love and Victory show with Val since day one. And I tell you what, that has to be the best
All right.
introduction.
I know. I woke the rapper up in you.
I'm finna dust my mic off. You know, I used to rap too.
All righty then. Well, we're going to do the acronym and get this show going. Come on.
Yes. So as you guys know, the acronym is to kind of set the tone for the show, give us something to work off of. So the title.
Turn your camera there.
We're about to put some up.
Okay.
Yeah. The title of today's show is Real Fathers, Real Men Playing the Role. So the word I went with today is guide. G is for grounded, humble, and appreciative. U is for upstanding, honest, and honorable. I is for incumbent, necessary as an obligation or duty. D is dependable, reliable, and trustworthy. E is expressive, capable of conveying emotions or thoughts effectively. So I thought that was a good word to kind of set the tone, because we're talking about playing a role and being a role model for those in our lives who maybe don't have a good role model. And I don't really think it takes blood or even, an actual like birth father or birth mother to be a role model to someone.
Right.
Beautiful.
Yeah, because there's many of us out there that have pastored and raised other children outside of our own children. So being a real father and a real man, this takes a different tone, should I say, of a person thinking outside of his own self, being able to help someone, other kids. Because I was a coach growing up with my kids. I coached a lot of kids growing up, and they were kids coming from single parent homes and whatnot like this, and didn't have very much. And so I would do our job, what we did together, my wife and I. But I know they ain't calling me on this show. It's you gotta just turn it off, just hand it to me. But our role was to raise those kids that didn't have parents to necessarily raise them, help raise them. Coming up and in that time, parents didn't even show up to the ball games.
Right. They're doing it now.
Yeah, they still doing it now.
Yeah.
And so it take a real father, real man to be able to step into the gaps for some of these young people out there. And that's why we have this show today. And we brought Doc, Ray, Pastor, and Brother JBL to talk about these things, about how we become better men for young people out there. Doc, you got something on that?
Yes. So this is a disclaimer, right? So I started having kids when I was 17 years old. I had 2 girls pregnant at the same time, right? By the age of 21, I already had 4 kids, but I was also on my way to prison, right? And
couldn't do nothing for neither one of them.
And that road didn't stop. So a lot of times when I come on these shows and we're congratulating the fathers, I have to set a disclaimer. I wasn't there for my kids when I was young.
There you go.
And some of my older kids, we still kind of bump heads a little bit because they feel like, hey, you wasn't even there for me, but now you want to try to. And the only thing I say is, hey, I wasn't even there for me. I didn't even know who I was.
Right.
I didn't even know who I was. So listen, let's forget about that. Let's start right here, because now I know who I am and I can do the best that I can. And so what I found to do is, hey, listen, you know what? I'm gonna just go out and start helping other people's kids, because sooner or later God gonna send somebody around to help my kids, because what I'm saying, my kids not receiving from me.
Right.
So you got to give, and it'll be given back.
Yeah.
And so that's why I started the males mentorship group. That's why I go and mentor young men, and I talk to them and I let them know, hey, the choices you making today is not the choice you want to make, because it's consequences.
Yeah. But on your kids' defense there, I'm glad you brought that up. You got to give them chance to heal on,
absolutely.
On
and that's why
things like that.
And that's why I just say, hey, you know what? I do what I can when I can. And I say, hey, you know what? At the end of the day, I am the grown up, right? And so I know that is a place that I should have been.
Yeah.
I didn't have no father. He died when I was 6 months old. So that's a place that I should have been.
Yeah.
And being that I wasn't there, I can understand the anger, the pain, and the frustration.
Because you had the same anger, pain, and frustration.
So all I could do is call, text. If they receive it, they receive it.
Right.
If they don't, they don't. Because at the end of the day, we all grown now. Yeah. And we all got our own paths that we going.
And they
so you won't be blamed for not trying.
Yeah.
You are trying.
Yeah,
right.
absolutely,
so
man. But I'm gonna tell you what
that's
the great thing, and I thank God for it. I got grandkids now.
You can do a better job with them.
Man, I love my babies too.
If you don't mind, I like to start it off with, I'm gonna throw a question out there, and that's how we kind of go in and get this show rolling. Do you feel worthy to be a role model or a mentor? And if so, why? or why not? And I'm going to throw that at JB first, and then you guys just jump in on it.
I absolutely do. And I think it's because, like everybody else here, I walked a pretty hard road to get where I am.
Okay.
And having those difficult life experiences, I think prepares you as a mentor. You can help people get through rough situations because we've been through rough situations.
Yeah.
And I think people that had everything, an easy life don't have that same, they don't have anything to give from the heart because they haven't gone through challenges. But, on top of that, I think that, there's a saying that it goes something like, everything we learn in life, we learn 10 minutes after we needed to know it. And, when it comes to being a parent, most people have kids young and they're still going through their own challenges, trying to find out who they are and how to grow up. And your kids are already dealing with the trauma of being raised by you before you learn those lessons that you need to know. But I think that's what makes grandparents so great, is because you get that perspective on life and you're able to pass that down to the grandkids. That,
yes,
I know your mom and dad aren't perfect right now, but give them a chance. They're learning and growing too.
There you go.
I got that from my grandparents, and that was a wonderful thing to let me know that I'm heard and seen. I'm not just invisible because my dad can't see me.
Right. Amazing. I love that. And
JBL, you a bad boy, man.
Yeah,
you a bad boy, man.
And so too, you have to pour back into, we can't get so caught up in what I didn't do.
Right.
You have to focus on what can I do today. And what I can do today is I can still be there for my kids, let them know that my heart is open for them. But right now, I am definitely going to be here present and present with my grandkids because I want to break that generational curse.
Yeah.
And it starts me.
Yeah.
So anybody else want to jump in on that?
Well, I think the answers are wonderful. They experienced that they had was negative, but they needed that because you gain understanding, you gain knowledge, and now you have wisdom. So you're able to direct people and tell people, don't go down this path. Then the Bible said all things work together for the what?
For the good. Yeah.
That's my favorite.
So
scripture.
why these things happen? Why dad went there? Why you went your way? Why I went my way? It needed to happen to give us a personal experience with the Lord. Because now since it happened, you can reach more people that way. Look at all the people you're reaching. Look at all the people you're reaching. So he had to allow that to happen. We read about Paul in the New Testament.
Okay.
But he was on the wrong path, thinking he was doing what was right for the Lord. His negative experience, he had an awakening, and look how he just affected everybody after that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. So that's the story that you guys have.
Yeah.
That it was God was still right there. And when the time came, you had a spiritual awakening.
Right.
So we have to pray that these brothers and these people have a spiritual awakening.
Wow.
Where they can walk down the path that God called them to walk on. So it's really nothing that you could be shamed. But Paul said I was a chief sinner.
Yeah.
But then this Paul was known by demons. They knew who he was. They knew it.
Yeah.
And he said, I was the chief sinner. So the things we done, the mistakes that we made, it brought us to the point to put us on the platform.
Come on now.
To tell people, hey, we didn't have it right, but we got it right.
We got it right.
What did Paul say? Paul said, when I was a child, I spoke as a child, understood as a child. I did childish things. And that's what he was in this foolish state of mind.
That's right. So we have our own point of maturing.
Right.
We can't be prejudiced. Oh, you got to mature at this age. You don't know when God gonna shake somebody.
Right.
How God gonna shake somebody.
Yeah.
And to answer the question that you started earlier and what you was talking about, listen, I commend you guys because one of the best fathers in the world was Joseph. Joseph was a stepfather. He was Jesus' stepfather. And he was one of the best fathers in the world. And by him doing what you're saying, sowing into Jesus, helping Jesus, look at all the other kids he had.
Yeah.
So we are challenged like that. So Joseph said as a great spiritual example, be that stepdad, be that dad, if God tell you to do, and look at the fruit. Now Joseph got his biological kids, wrote the scriptures, experienced the presence of God, all because Joseph See, I'm gonna take care of Jesus
Mhm.
like he came out of my own arms.
There you go.
God bless you. God bless you. So anybody else have anything chime on that?
Yeah,
particular-
so I would say, the Bible says every day of your life was fashioned when yet there was none, right?
Mhm.
So he already know everything from the end to the beginning. So everything that we go through,
You already know.
we have to realize 82% of it ain't even for us. Huh?
Yeah.
It ain't.
No, because you're going to get the part that you need, but he done already equipped you with your gift to be able to thrive on the earth.
Mhm.
But everything else that you go through is the people
Yes,
that you meet on
That
the
you gonna
journey
connect
Right,
to.
that you can help here and there and here.
Come on,
So
man.
everything that you go, because guess what? How can I tell you anything about
Right.
not using drugs and you ain't never put nothing in your mouth?
Can't-
You feel me? So we gotta go through certain things
Yeah.
to make it.
Yeah.
that-
And
that's
And
have
so-
a testimony.
And so
That's what-
I feel like, yes, I am called to be a great mentor to these young men, because guess what? At this day and age, everything that's going on right now, right?
Mhm.
I'm where they going if they keep it up.
Come on now.
And I can tell you all about it, because them people don't care where you, hey, where you from?
Mhm.
Oh yeah, we finna put you in this hog barn so you can go clean up behind these hogs from
Mhm.
4:30 in the morning to 2:30 in the
Wow,
afternoon.
Wow,
Come
wow,
on now.
wow.
Come
Yeah,
on now.
I did that.
Okay.
And so I feel like, yes,
Yes, you're equipped.
I'm equipped.
All right
Yeah.
then.
So question number 2.
Okay.
What kind of pressure do you put on yourself to set a good example for those that rely on you?
Ooh.
What kind of
Ooh.
pressure do you put on yourself
Hey man, I'm
to
gonna come
set a
straight out.
good
Come on in it.
example?
I'm gonna come straight out the gate. I don't listen. I learned, right, that you have to lose the fear of criticism and what people say and think about you, because at the end of the day,
Mhm.
this is a one-way conversation. You and the man, he telling you what you need to do, right?
Okay.
So I used to be under that pressure.
Mhm.
Coming from the streets, I done turned my life around. I'm an ordained minister. I'm this and I'm that, and everybody looking up to me, not
Yeah.
realizing Doc's still Doc.
Yeah.
It's a man that I gotta press down every day when
Yeah.
I get ready to walk out that door.
Yeah.
I ain't got it all together. I
Yeah.
still have negative thoughts. I still want to cuss both sides. You feel me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You
So,
still Doc at the end of the day.
I'm still Doc,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah.
And people got to understand
yeah,
that. And
yeah.
so when you start putting all this pressure on yourself, not realizing you're
Yeah.
stressing yourself
Yeah.
to death, trying to impress somebody that don't
Yeah.
really even
Yeah.
like
It
you.
don't even
Come on
like
now.
you.
Don't push me
So-
because I'm close to the edge.
Hey, listen,
I'm
man.
trying not to
Hey,
lose my head.
So and so when I took that fear of criticism,
Yes.
and a lot of Christians deal with it and they don't even know it.
Mhm.
When I took that fear of criticism off,
Yeah.
it's like a whole weight came off me,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, I got to make sure I'm doing
Yeah.
what I got to do for him.
And
I
so-
could care less what
So,
you think.
what I'm hearing you say is that you have to take the fictitious off yourself and just be real who you are in life.
Oh,
And-
you know,
come on.
because
Hey, cause look,
I'm sitting over here. I gotta jump in.
hey, look,
I know
that mask gonna eventually fall off, and it's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
come off
yeah.
with the
I'm
most.
Yeah,
sorry.
they
You're
gonna
not
see
gonna,
it.
you're not
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
come out here like that on
Yeah.
the Love and Victory show with Val, and I ain't gonna get a piece of
Come
that.
on now.
Let me tell you, I used to walk around
Uh-huh.
worrying about how people
Yeah.
felt and what they thought of me. I imprisoned myself with my thoughts.
Mhm.
So here's how Val walk around.
Come
Yeah.
on now.
I am an open book.
Yes,
I am who I am. I am perfectly made.
wonderful.
And his
In
image.
his image. Those that can't handle the light, that's your issue. Go put
Man.
some shades on because I'm still walking. So
Man,
I want
listen.
everybody to understand
Listen.
when you take that off,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, when you take that thing of what other people
Mm-hmm.
feel about you
Yeah.
off of you, because see, that's not how they feel about you. That's how
Yeah.
they feel about themselves.
Exactly.
And I'm gonna leave that alone. This
Yeah.
man show.
Because a lot of people would try to put a cover on you.
Yeah,
'cause
they did,
They
girl.
don't
And I
want you to
allowed
shine. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
lied. Oh,
Yeah.
y'all see me all
And
the
that's their
time.
natural instinct is to do so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Justin, you have anything on that? What kind of pressure do you put on yourself to set an example for those that really need you in life?
I will say I do put some pressure on myself.
You
know,
didn't with the crap.
Well,
Well, he
know,
might put a lot of pressure on himself to do that.
Yeah,
rap.
you don't know how long he was studying. He was sweating and everything.
Sorry
no,
about that.
No, you're good. I have a team of people that work for me, And you know, we were talking in the beginning about servitude. I feel as a leader, it's my job to be a servant to my team and make sure that they have everything that they need to do their job. And part of that is being a mentor, you know, someone who tries to make good decisions in tough situations. And you know, when my knee-jerk reaction might be to say something negative about somebody that's causing a problem, you know, in our business, I remember that they're looking to me. These are our future leaders, and they're looking to me to see how I conduct myself in this situation.
Yes.
And so I use that pressure as a guide to make sure that I am thinking about what I'm doing rather than just reacting.
That's
So,
good,
okay.
JB.
Ooh, okay,
like
get
that.
off my toes because I'm working on that a lot more because I do have a great team. And sometimes when you're leading people, they don't understand sometimes the pressure because there is pressure in what you do. And so I always try to give them grace, but you have to also give yourself grace. But you got to know that they're watching everything that you do. So thank you for that.
Yeah, God bless you. God bless you. Got anything?
Well, you guys are doing a great job to me. You know, I'm sitting here soaking it in and looking at all this confidence. All this confidence is godly confidence, and people not ashamed to open up and tell, you know, the truth things about how they have to overcome some things.
Yeah.
The pressure is like he said, you know, you want to make sure you the example. You want to make sure you pleasing God. That's the first thing. Am I pleasing God? I have an awakening there. Am I pleasing God? That's the thing I look at is he's going to be satisfied with what I'm doing, and not to try to be super spiritual, but that's how we start moving in the right direction. So the pressure will kind of bag up and say, hey, I'm pleasing God. I'm taking responsibility for whatever position I accept or God put me in. And with that responsibility, I understand, like you said, I'm a leader. Folks are watching me.
Right.
And it goes back to that scripture. The scripture been running across my mind all year. Be example to the believers, not to the one out there, but it said to the what? Believers.
Because you can crush them.
That's it. So I'm being an example. Am I
And that's a
speaking
lot.
right?
That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. And
That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. But when you get to the point to realize that you're doing it for the Lord, and after you get some experience, you start saying, it leaves from being pressure. This just the way I'm supposed to do things.
The way I walk.
This is who I am. Because I can look and see how God take me from one level to another level by doing this. It's just the way I walk. I believe every Christian is just to get to the point to say we are problem solvers. We solve problems. That's what we can solve a problem. So we'll move from that pressure and graduate and just say, hey, God gonna solve it. He solved it once. He'll do it.
And saying as a pastor, as a leader, sometimes we have so much pressure on ourselves about how to conduct ourselves around people because you don't want nobody to stumble in your life, you know. And so I'm a firm believer that you're never gonna be 100% perfect on nothing in life. So there's gonna be somebody that's gonna stumble about anything that come about your life. So at some point, whether we're spiritual leaders, religious leaders, or coaches, or whatever we do in life, I think we need to be more just authentic about ourselves.
And
you know,
right.
and just, you know, because it'll take a lot of pressure off me, you know, like you know, I've been in church all my life, and I tried to hide myself from drinking around people. And I took myself to another side of town to avoid just being around the people in my circle. That's good because I'm the usher at the church. I'm doing all these different things at the church, and so I'm on the north side of town. I live on the southwest side of town, and I go to the store and buy me some beer, drink my beer, and I get a tap on the shoulder. Brother tapped me on the shoulder. He say, "Hey man, ain't you that usher back over there at that church over there?" I said, and that point on, I said, I can't hide from man. I can't hide from God for sure. So what am I trying to hide from man for? So let me just be real with me at this point. So you got something to say on that?
Because they coming in they want some meat. Y'all over here with this talking. They need some answers. We got people.
We're gonna get to answers.
No, Oh, they got some questions.
What's the question then?
I'm supposed to give it to you. What's give them questions because
What's
they
the
want
question?
some. They coming here for some
All
help
right.
today. All right.
First one
Hey,
by
Rich.
Richard Killinger. To fulfill a role of father, do you really need to be related by blood?
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. If you
not.
see a young man that you feel like God is speaking to you about and saying, hey, you have what it takes inside of you to help him, guess what? You just became a father figure.
Wow.
And that's what I was saying about Joseph earlier.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying about Joseph. Joseph took that role with Jesus.
Yeah.
And by him taking that role, God started speaking to him. You don't see what God was speaking to Moses. Mary after Jesus was born. He was speaking to the Joseph, the stepfather. So when you take that role, God will start downloading information to you to tell you how and what direction to go
How to
in.
navigate yourself.
He can.
Okay.
Got another question?
Yes, sir. We have Lima from Facebook. She said, do you have any advice for young dads?
Young advice
dad.
for young dads.
Young dads just getting started.
Don't
Wow.
quit. Don't give up. And you're going to make some mistakes at it.
Yeah.
And
That's
talk
good.
to you know,
Yeah.
get with someone that is a matured father, man that is being a father.
Yeah.
And
You took my words right there.
I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
know.
Me too.
And I'm sorry. Yeah, it is y'all show.
Yeah,
Y'all
yeah.
really okay. And get you some counsel. Get some good counsel.
Yeah.
Talk. Open up. Let them know. And that you're afraid you don't know because it's all about fear. We're all learning.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And to piggyback what you were saying, that surround yourself around some people that are striving and doing things in a direction in which you want to go yourself.
Yes.
You know, if you hang out with those, you're gonna have thug-like tendencies.
Yes.
You know, so if you hang around, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
you become
like
yeah.
You become the company
Yeah,
you keep.
you become actually what you're around all the
Yeah,
time,
no,
and you know
absolutely.
you know this firsthand. You know, so you have to start redirecting how you know. I'm always thinking about the Bible scriptures and stuff
It's
like
okay,
that about
'cause that's
you
in
know
you.
That's
yeah
in you.
That's in you. It's
you know
What's in you gonna come out.
yeah
It's gonna come out. Thank
about
you,
being ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Sometimes you know you got to rethink things in life. You get caught up sometime as a young dad and even as old dads. You get caught up in the situations of life, and the Bible tells us in Romans 12 to not get caught up on those things. But be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and that perfect and good will of God. So, in other words, what I'm saying is redirect your thoughts in life.
And your
Redirect the people that are around
There
you
you
in
go.
your life. Redirect how you structure yourself in life. If you want to go somewhere higher, further. I've met some people.
I hope.
I'm from Galveston, and I've had some homeboys that never left the island.
Yeah.
Never left the island
Man, I'm trying to
for
get
nothing.
away. I ain't gonna lie.
You know,
You got to.
and that's something you got to change the way you're thinking at some point.
You got to see something different.
Yeah.
If we have any more on there?
Okay,
Okay,
you
come
want
on.
to save
Yeah.
for Q&A or right now?
No.
All right.
No, go ahead. Let's
We
go
have-
now.
From Betty Esther Facebook, do you think you need to be mentally prepared to become a dad?
Absolutely, you got to be mentally ready because guess what? It's gonna be a lot of stuff come your way that is not nowhere in no kind of book. They don't have no parents in book that you can actually learn because every situation is different.
Yeah.
And if you're not mentally ready, it'll cause you to do and say and act in some ways that you didn't even know
Right.
that you could do.
All
So
right.
yeah, you got to be mentally ready.
Yeah.
Got to have your mind right, baby.
Yeah. Come on, Justin, jump in on that.
No, you guys are nailing 100%. Like there's just so much that you don't want to walk into that casually. You know, I think, you know, there's that saying that you're the average of the 5 people around you that are closest to you.
Mhm.
And so like, it's all the same thing, just finding those mentors and people that can help you grow into who you want to be so that you can be the father figure that you want to be. You know, that's the most important thing you can do.
My.
And
Yeah.
that's so true. I like what you said earlier too about getting an example. I met a man when I was about 15 years old, and he used to wear a suit to work. In
Mhm.
my neighborhood, parents wasn't doing that. Maybe just one man. And I was always intrigued with that.
That
helped
one
me
man,
at the age of 16. Yeah. That helped me. Because I was challenged a little bit with my education growing up. But because of that man used to wear suits to work, I wanted to wear a suit to work. I wanted to do whatever it takes to be a person, a black African American back then in the 80s, to wear a tie to work.
You go.
Wow.
And I never forgot that. And I live to that today. I saw somebody and it just caught my attention and my imagination. And I walked into his home. Everything was organized. Peace. No cussing, no fussing. No drinking, no nothing.
Yeah.
And this was an African American man.
Yes.
And it never left me.
You just never seen that.
I never saw that.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of times sometimes we can be so entrenched in just what we see. We believe in how we live. We believe that's how
to where we are.
And we think that that's really how things happen around what's happening around the world. So that's amazing.
And that takes me to my next question. That who was role model, somebody that you looked up to become, the individual that you are? Is there a critic toward any certain persons out there that
I have several teachers? Paul said you have one father, but you have many instructors, and I understand that. Bob Crickman, who I was talking about, was my son, grandfather. My father, of course, I learned a man is a man back then. I learned that growing up. C.L. Jackson. C.L. Jackson was my pastor, and I learned watching him how to carry myself, how to be fearless when I'm handling the gospel. If God said it, let's go do it. Then other mentors I just connected myself with afar off. And then when I say afar off, I will watch them on television, watch them on YouTube, and I will practice some of the things that they presented from the scriptures.
Now, this was when you talking about these pastors, was this during your pastoring segment or something prior to even being involved into church?
In the pastoring came when I got involved in church. C.L. Jackson, I met him. I think I was just getting off of I was on crack. I was hiding from my family. Lights was off. Living out my car. Try to pawn my TV with a suit on. Psychologically tell myself I'm okay, but I'm not. And one day my mother told me, I never know you was like that. Never knew it, but I was in bad shape. So I went to church and I heard him say this: nobody understand me but God. I heard him, and his church, church, Dome Church, 63 to 5,000 people right there in Fifth Ward. And I heard him say that. Then I heard him say he was a high school dropout, and something rose up in me. You mean God did all this and making leading coming over here? You a high school dropout? Then I can do something. I can do something.
Right.
When I saw that, and I watched how he wears clothes, I watched how he walked, I watched how he helped people. And one day, my brother dressed me, and C.L. Jackson walked up to me one day and looked at me, straightened my tie up, and he tapped me on the shoulder. He said, "Gregory, your brother Tony dressed you this morning." That was my journey into life. So I watched that. So he was a good mentor.
I think that's a perfect mentor to have, because you were at your lowest and you were hiding it from everybody else. But God saw you at your lowest, but he also saw that you were ready to move on to the next level. So hats off to you.
So I would have to say, growing up, right, being that my biological father was murdered, I was raised in the streets. And so a man by the name of Willie Johnson from Tech City, he took a liking to me. He took a liking to me. He was one of the biggest dope dealers at the time in Tech City. He knew my biological father, so he really took a liking to me, and he put me up under his wing, and he showed me a lot of stuff, even though it was a lot of the wrong stuff. It was a lot of the wrong stuff the right way.
The right way.
Does that make sense?
It makes
He showed me the wrong stuff the right way. You be nice to people. You treat everybody accordingly. If they handle you the wrong way, you handle them accordingly. You don't cheat nobody. You don't steal from nobody. You hustle for what you want. If you can't pay for it, you don't steal it. You help the people. You see an old lady coming out the store, you grab a bag. You help her to a car.
So he taught you he was teaching you how to be good
He taught me everything he knew. Put it that
That's
way.
exactly right.
He taught me what he
He
knew.
was teaching you to be good while being bad.
Yeah,
But he,
Yeah.
but he was teaching you from his level.
from his
Right,
level.
right,
See,
right.
God can use anybody.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so as
And
I
that's
grew
true.
up, I got saved, and I met a guy named Terry Milan's son. And he took me under his wing as a spiritual father.
Mhm.
And I was rough around the edges. His hands probably still cut up from trying to help mold and shape me.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Terry, if you on here, man. I love you, man. But he showed me a lot. And his favorite word was, well, Doc, what does the Bible say? Because every time we get to talking about
Yeah,
something, he gonna say, well, Doc, what does the Bible say? And he
Right.
always converted me to the word.
That's
And I
good.
remember-
That's good.
2016, I was having one of the hardest times in my life. I was in the gym working out, and I had my headphones on Pandora,
Mhm.
and a guy named Eric Thomas came on. And the most powerful 4 minutes and 38 seconds I ever heard in my life, I left my mark. And at the end of that, I looked down, it was a puddle of tears and a fire burning in my heart so bad. That's when I knew that I wanted to be a motivational speaker, because it doesn't matter where you come from and none of that. So, and then I went and I found him on YouTube and I started following him. I ended up getting in Breed University and met a whole bunch of brothers. And then down the road, I met some more brothers that was connected to that. That's a men's group. That's
So
international.
God connected you. It became a chain reaction.
And so now I'm a part of a men's group called CAS, King of Accountability. And it's a men's group from all across the, hey, I'm gonna have to turn you on too.
Yeah.
Come on, God.
It's a men's group from all across
We
the
gonna
world.
talk about that. We
Oh,
we
okay.
Yeah.
Come on,
But
JB, give me
Justin,
yours.
let me hear your any mentors,
I
anyone
love
that
I want that.
Hey,
examples.
you're on fire. Don't stop that for me.
I know.
What
No,
Doc? We can do a whole show with Doc and just sit back and just listen.
The mic on and let him go.
Hey, y'all playing, Val. Y'all playing, man. We finna work on something. Give me something in here.
All right, then. Come on, JB.
Well, this conversation we're having right here is exactly what I got from the mentor that changed my life. And I met him. His name was Roland Mora. I met him when I was 32 when I got sober. And I didn't work with him for another 2 years, but he talked about, all the challenges in his life and not having the tools to deal with them, and nobody in his life ever talking about feelings and stuff like that. And that's exactly where I was at. I didn't know how to be, I didn't have any idea just how to exist. And he was the first man that ever, talked to me for real about what was going on inside of him and asked me what was going on inside of me and wanted to know the truth so he could help me grow into who I can become.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, I was 34 when that happened. I went 34 years without having a positive male mentor in my life that could help me grow and be a man. And I think that is a tragedy. And I think most young men are in that same position. You grow up without ever having that. And so
I think I like to look at the glass half full. And I'm going to say God was fashioning the perfect person for you in your situation. Because if he'd have sent someone sooner, they may not have been able to give you exactly what you needed to turn that. I'm sorry that it took that long, but to turn you into the JB that you are today.
Mhm.
So that's I truly want to say that there is a reason that it took that long.
God don't make no mistake.
Because you would not be ready to receive.
I wasn't ready.
You weren't ready.
Yeah.
Oh Lord,
You wouldn't even receive.
Oh Lord. Okay,
Yeah.
we got this. Oh Lord, I need more time.
You got
I noticed y'all
you
show.
burning, huh?
Y'all don't even understand. This is just good.
This is good.
When
good.
you hear men speaking and being so and pouring into the world and being honest and authentic, this is what we need.
Yeah.
We need this because
That's right.
men, you guys are responsible. God holds you all accountable and responsible, not us women. And there's too many women out here having to lead the way. That's because we need men
to
to
step
do
up.
what you
Right.
guys are
Yeah.
doing. So
Yeah.
I thank God for you all.
Yeah.
It's time for us to it's time
What you
for
got?
a couple of shout outs.
Mhm.
And then we're going to come on.
Man,
Tune in, listen.
Yeah,
Y'all
this
see what
time is
time it is?
moving. Shoot.
All right, Abigail, bring them shout outs in.
Okay, so we have a couple things going on here in the LV with Val office. So we also have a nonprofit called LV Enterprises Resources Incorporated.
Yes.
Mhm.
That is a long name.
That's a
Yeah.
long name. It's a lot of things.
Give them
go-
the short term of the short version of it.
LV.
There you go.
LV Enterprises. So we have a toy drive coming up. Well, it's actually going on right now.
Now,
We have a toy drive running until December 13th. That's when we're going to take over the gifts to DePelchin. And DePelchin is it helps kids who have been either displaced or
and families.
and
So,
families.
yes,
Yeah.
this the Pelging is I love to say a bridge to a better day,
Mhm.
and we have taken our personal interest in helping someone that is less fortunate than us. There are several great organizations out here that
Mhm.
anyone can donate to, but I do believe that the Pelgin really put their heart.
Mhm. Put the
uh,
money where the mouth is.
put their heart, yes.
Mhm.
And so that's why we are a part and we're partnering. We actually loaded up a U-Haul last time full of toys and gifts and bikes and stuff. And so we want to exceed the expectation of what we did before. And
Want to
so
get a bigger U-Haul.
yeah, we
this
want to
time.
get, we don't want to get a bigger one. We want one bigger than the one we had. So come
And
on, help
so
us out.
you guys can bring any new gifts, either wrapped or unwrapped, to 616 FM 1960 West Suite 101. That's in Houston, Texas, with the zip code 77090.
Mhm.
You're tuning in visually. We have a QR code there. You can also, if you can't bring by a gift, if you're maybe not in Texas,
Mhm.
you can donate. So
Mhm.
that'll take you right to our donation page. It's lverinc.com. That'll take you to our donation page right up there at the top. And we really want to make it big this year.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
so
And we-
anything helps.
Everything and anything helps.
Amen.
And what's our next shout out?
Yeah. And so also to kind of help with our toy drive, we are running a bowling event.
Yes.
So we're having a bowling event here in Houston. Tickets are $35. Included in your ticket is shoes, food, drinks, and of course, a whole bunch of fun. We're planning on doing teams and competitions, all that stuff. That's going to be taking place on December 3rd from 2 to 4 p.m.
Mhm.
At Del Mar Lanes. And again, I have a QR code up there for you guys to get your ticket. If you also visit lverinc.com, there will be a link that'll take you to the registration for the tickets.
Also, and if you can't show up that day, how about you just sponsor someone? Why don't you just say, even if I can't do it, I don't like the bowl, I can't make it, I got other, why don't you still go there, register, pay for a ticket for someone else that's less fortunate so that they can do. And what we're gonna do is if we're gonna make sure that some kids and make sure less family members can come out and have a good time.
Yeah. Again, all proceeds will go toward the toy drive and for the kids at the home.
Yeah.
And let me just say one thing for anybody out there that's listening that might be saying in your head, well, I can't really do this, that, another because I'm already trying to do this or I don't have this. Hey, listen, God honors when you give out of need. Because when you give out of need, the Bible says give and it'll be given back, pressed down, shaken together. Because she texted me and told us about the toy drive that they was having. In my carnal mind, the first thing I said was, well, we got a toy drive coming up and I need these toys for them, right? And then as soon as I press send on that text, guess what God told me? Okay, but you got your hand out asking for other people to come to give to your toy drive, but you won't even give to this toy drive.
Look at God. Look at God.
Ask him when I show up with a toy this morning.
Yes, he did.
What happened to press down, shaking together?
Press down, shake together, running over,
And we
man.
also, for the bowling event, we have a promo code. We're going to put that up on the screen. These are limited promo discounts, so you can get $5 off of your ticket with the code Toy Drive.
Right.
We're going to play a quick video that kind of tells you a little bit more about our bowling event. We're going to play that for you guys.
Okay. Make it happen. Come on. There we go.
Come join us for an afternoon of competition and fun. On December 3rd, L&V Enterprises Resources Incorporated will be hosting a bowling and brunch event. Included in your ticket is the lane for bowling, bowling shoes, food, and drinks. This is a family-friendly event, so please bring your kids. All proceeds from this event will help fund the LNV Christmas Toy Drive. For more information on this event and to donate to the cause, please visit lverinc.com.
All righty.
All right.
And we got
was
one
good.
more shout out. Hey,
1.5.
a 1.5. Okay, well, let's make it happen.
Yes. So also, Miss Carter's also in the Fab Over 40 competition with New Beauty Magazine. Everybody give her a big round of applause. We have a code up there on the screen for you guys to vote for her. You can vote every single day. You get one free vote a day, but you can also make donations toward breast cancer research, and that will go towards Miss Carter's vote. If you are tuning in and you can't get that QR code, if you go on lvwithval.com, there's a button right there at the top for you to vote for her. Again, you can vote every single day. She has actually made it to the top 10. So we got a couple more rounds left.
Yes.
And the winner, we're gonna play a quick video because I'll be quiet. Play the video and it'll tell you a little bit more about what she gets for winning.
There you go.
If you know anything about Valerie, then you know she doesn't like to sit still for very long. So when an opportunity presented itself, she went for it. Valerie is now entered in New Beauty Magazine's Fab Over 40 competition. The winner will receive a glamorous 2-page spread in New Beauty Magazine, $40,000, and a dream spa vacation. Voting begins on October 9th, so help us win. No one is more fun, fierce, or fabulous than Valerie, so be sure to vote for her.
Yeah, and I know we done gave y'all a whole bunch of stuff.
I
that's
know.
going on.
Got a lot going
We
on.
got a lot
going on, but we do want you to vote for Val, though.
Yes, because we really are. And I really want you guys to know this Fab thing for me is another way that I can pour back in. I'm going to take $10,000 when I win, because I'm going to win, and I'm going to give it to LNV Enterprise Resource so we can continue to be a blessing to someone else.
Right.
So I just had to throw that in.
All right.
All righty.
We have one more shout out. So we have a new show coming on, and Anna's going to tell you guys a little bit about that.
Keep it short, ladies.
Yes, so we have Empower Hour with Coach Anna, and I'm your Coach Anna. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to talk about how I empower myself, what tips you can use to empower yourself every day, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Come hear me out.
Let me tell y'all something. This woman is amazing. Just to hear,
Oh, thank you, Ms. Carter.
she's just to hear and the way that she loves to pour into people, and she's so positive. If you need some wake me up, sister, that's the one. That is the one.
All right.
Brother Carter, I'm gonna turn this show back to you.
Okay. Well, don't forget to, since y'all put that up there, don't forget to tune in to Tasteful and Toxic too, Dad.
That's right. You want to put that up really quick? We have Tasteful. I'll go quickly. We got Tasteful and Toxic every Wednesday at 8 a.m. on the LV with Val app, or you can tune in on Thursdays. We post it on YouTube on the LV with Val YouTube channel, and of course, we also have VK Career Conversations. It is goes on our radio show every first and third Monday of the month at 8 a.m.
All right. So we talked a lot about a lot of different things today. So we coming to that hour where we have to close out. And so the question is going to be, what do it take to be a real father and a real man?
I love that.
What is it going to take? Let's talk to some people out there. Start with you, JBL.
I think number one, it takes self-honesty. Like you gotta be able to look at who you are and what your faults are, and be willing to change and grow and become a better version of who you are, so that you can be.
I know I should have saved you for last. I knew you was gonna do that. Go ahead.
There's so many aspects to being a leader and a father, and I think it all centers on knowing who you are and how to be the person that you want to be in the world. And if you're not looking to grow who you are, you're never going to be able to grow someone else into who they could become.
My. Pastor?
Well, today is very interesting because it's a need. It's a need for fathers, a need for men to standing up, because kids raising up with a lot of challenges with the internet speaking into their life. We need men of God to rise up. And it is challenging. It is challenging because I always go back to the spirit of darkness is always moving. I believe that once a man get rooted and grounded in the word of God, have a relationship with God, he can be the best example, the best father that he needed to be, because he have the word of God and God to fall back on. If he don't have anybody in the natural to talk to, he have somebody spiritually to talk to.
Right.
And I like what you said earlier, how you had to go different places to try to say, well, I'm going to do this over here, can't do this over here. I learned to tell my members and tell young men, I have made a mistake with my Bible in my hand.
Yeah.
I learned to tell people, one of the key things that I learned to tell people, I have made mistakes. I have seen people get healed. I have seen people get out of wheelchairs, but this person sitting here made some mistakes with that Bible in his hand.
There you go.
And not to say you won't make none.
Well,
in
you
the-
don't make none.
You
I love
done.
it. There
Yeah,
you
yeah.
go.
I
You're
made
not
something,
right.
I probably I'll make some more down the road.
Why you think the Lord give us new mercies?
There you go.
Yeah.
Come on now.
So those
I
are
take
things,
advantage of it.
Yeah, all of them, man.
and we need to.
Yeah,
We need to.
yeah.
So I think more conversation like this need to be had, especially in this time, because when we grew up, we didn't have the challenging that the other kids and all the influence.
That's
We
it.
just had the TV,
Right.
and we weren't allowed to watch it 24 hours
Yeah.
a day.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. So we are needed. Men of God are needed. Our experience needed. We think it's negative or positive. It's still needed to help this generation.
Yeah. Doc, what you got?
Give me the question one more time.
What it don't take to be a real father, real man? What can you kind of guidance can you give?
So, and
not only yourself, but someone else out there.
yeah, because I'm still in the learning phase too. So I believe first and foremost, you have to get real with, you have to learn and know who you are. Because until you understand who you are and know who you are, you can't really give no wisdom and knowledge
Come
or
on now.
motivation to nobody else. And so once you start understanding that there is a God, you're not him,
Come on now.
right?
You're not him.
And that is no perfect person, and that we all gonna make mistakes.
Right.
But when you start learning and understanding who you are to make yourself a better man, and then you can be a better man for everybody around you.
Come on now.
And you need groups of men who are willing to be vulnerable, who's willing to say, hey, I messed up. Hey, this, XYZ. And they able to tell the truth and be honest
That's it right there.
with other people and they self.
Right.
And then that, I think, starts molding you into who God needs you to be. Because he already got a plan and a purpose for you.
Yeah.
It's when we start understanding who we are and what God calling us to do that we can really be effective in
Come
the
on
earth.
now. Right there.
Right. And so I'm gonna close on this one now. I think the men need to come out from behind the rocks and out from under the covers or out of the closets, whatever you want to call it. No, I mean in the real sense, not in that. But I think we need to start standing out. We're too quiet. We're sitting back too much. We're sitting on our loins, and God have things for us to do as men. And he want us to go and get up. It's time to get up. It's time to get up. It's time to get out. Get off your couches, and do something for somebody outside yourself. It's more to being a real father, real man, going to work and then coming home and saying, I paid the bills.
Yeah.
There are other needs out there. So
That's your reasonable service.
Come on now.
That's your reason.
You're jumping on Romans 12 again, huh?
You went to work. You paid the bills, you cut the grass.
Yeah. That's the least you're supposed to do.
Yeah. There you go.
And that's what I'm saying. It's time to come out of the house and start doing something. These young people out here today need our guidance. They need what you've been through throughout life to direct them how not to go through. They don't have to experience things in life if they just listen. And
not only listen, it's no more of you do as I say,
That's
right.
not as I do. No,
No.
I'm looking at you.
Right.
and I need to see you do something,
Mhm.
and then I'm gonna do as you do.
Yeah,
Because I
yeah.
ain't listening to nothing.
You better believe that.
You know,
And that's why I say it's time to come off those couches and trying
Gotta
to
start
direct
being
from
a
the couch.
doer.
Right.
oh wow.
Okay.
Oh Lord.
Oh man. So wait, final remarks. You got
say what's doing. I'm supposed to do mine.
but
Oh,
just you next show.
Anyway, this is a Love and Victory show with Val. And that same
You
question,
you
that
got
same
3.
question
You have
y'all know
you
we
can't-
have a fight. Brother Carter always want to
wait. You lead 3 weeks
I know, but baby,
in a month.
Brother Carter.
But thank
Can
you. I
ask me
needed your
that
help
question? I
today,
know.
though.
Can
You my
'cause you
help.
got these men, they some
Yeah.
firehouses. Okay, so Brother Carter, can you ask me that same question that you asked them?
What is it gonna take for a woman to turn a little girl into a woman?
Come on now, let's see how you put that.
Can you?
Yeah.
I love but here's the example I can do. The example that I can give young ladies is
Mhm.
that I'm gonna walk as a lady should.
But
I'm
let me
gonna
redirect the question.
Okay, but
Because there's a lot of single parent home mothers raising boys.
Mhm.
What can you say to a mother out there that's trying to raise young men on her own?
Well, here's what I'm gonna say. God is gonna put that right man in your life that can mentor. You can't teach a young man to be a man.
No.
What
Okay.
you can do is God allows you to nurture, and what you need to nurture up to a point. Keep
Mhm.
nurturing, keep loving,
Mhm.
but that young man still needs to have a male figure.
Mhm.
And that goes back to you men
Yeah.
stepping up and mentoring and helping and filling in the gap. And
Mhm.
hopefully God is going to send that father who
Mhm.
created that child
Mhm.
home to do what he's supposed to do for his own child.
Yeah.
So to throw this at you from a woman's perspective, what should that woman do when that man come in to step in to that position and allow him to do that instead of saying, well, this is my son, you're not the biological
Which,
father.
first of
Right.
all, she need to fall back
Mhm.
because they created that child together. But
No. That's another man.
No, she's talking about the
I'm talking about if
it's
if
another man.
stepfather
Yeah.
come in.
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, he needs to be qualified
Yeah.
to be in there first. Because if he's just good for you and he ain't good for your child,
Right.
you can't just start exposing your child to
Mhm.
everything. And once he's been qualified
Mhm.
to be in there with your child, then
Thank you for the start.
you have to respect. Y'all start having conversations, and y'all have to work through that together.
Well, a lot of women, not to cut you off, a lot of women have been raising these boys on their own, and it's hard for them to trust.
But that's
Should I say a
but
man
that's-
coming in that's
But they have to. You have to gain that relationship
Right.
and that conversation together before you present it in
Mhm.
front of the child, because that child is going to see that
yeah.
that
Yeah.
pull and tug there.
Mhm.
But you have to be respectful, because there are some good men out there,
Yeah.
but there are some men that you don't need to put in front of
Right.
the kids.
Exactly.
So you need to qualify that
Yeah.
person before you expose that to your
Mhm.
child.
Yeah. Amen. Well said. Final thoughts and remarks, and let's make it quick, gentlemen. We already at the hour here. Come on,
Okay,
here, Doc.
we got a few questions. Sorry. Go ahead, Anna.
We got a question?
going
Yeah,
on?
we still have a few more questions.
Yes.
We have Rosemary Fletcher. What is the most difficult thing about being a father?
Okay, make
Oh,
it quick,
boy.
short and quick. Who you want to answer that question? Give us one.
Pastor.
Well, I think one of the most important thing of it is the question was what was one of the most important difficult thing it is
The most
Mhm.
difficult thing it is being a father.
trying to be the right example,
Mhm.
trying to be the right father. And it's difficult because sometimes you may miss the mark.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you may say it, you may say it, you may do it wrong, you may discipline it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to not miss the mark.
Yeah.
And it's difficult sometimes.
Well, that's okay.
Okay.
Keep on
And-
trying.
And I'm gonna add on. I want to add on to that question right quick. That the most difficult thing I believe is for a man to be vulnerable and telling your children that you love them and crying in front of them, or whatever the case may be, in vulnerability. You have to start doing that at some point. Embracing your children, telling them you love, tell them you're proud of them, and all these type of things that most of us never heard.
Mhm.
So
Right. Can I piggyback on that?
Go, jump in.
I would just say, when you do make those mistakes with your kids, and you will, acknowledge that you made a mistake to your child. My dad never, ever, ever told me that he was wrong with how he treated me. And I needed that. And I think that's so important to let him know I made a mistake. I was wrong. This is how we're going to handle this.
Yeah.
Did you learn from that?
I did. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're never going to hear that from your father or whatever it is. And so at some point you're going to have to learn how to gird up your own loins, should I say, in life and man up for yourself.
But
sometimes you're not going to get an apology.
But I think sometimes even if you don't get an apology, then you have to forgive. And then when you forgive yourself, because you're still waiting on and forgive that person so that you can move on to that. That's just my thought on it.
Okay.
Good question. Okay. It is time for final thoughts, and we are getting ready. I'm so sorry. You guys were hot out here on the comments. We didn't get to answer all of your questions.
So that means it's a part 2 coming up.
Yes.
Can we just do one more question real quick, and we can use that as a final thought?
Okay. Sound like a plan.
Yeah, give us just a second because we put him away.
Y'all supposed to be ready there, yeah?
One last one from Alicia. I thought this one was a good one. Is it possible to be a good human being but fail to be a good father?
Ooh.
Wow.
Golly. Take that. Go ahead.
Absolutely, you can. But see, here's the thing. It is possible to be a good human being but fail as a father. But see, here's the thing. That's why you got to learn from your mistakes, because just because you fall, if you don't stay there, you can get up. Try it again. Yeah, you can fail and you can fall, but you can also get up.
Come on now. Look at God.
Yeah.
Won't he do it?
Won't he do it? Won't he do it?
That's a good question.
That was an excellent question.
That's a very good question.
You got anything to add to that, Pastor?
Because a lot of times as people, men and women, we think because we're doing this right over here, that give us a pass. But it doesn't.
No.
It doesn't. All our responsibility need to be dealt with, and we need to live up to them like we should. We shouldn't make excuse.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good question. Yeah, you could be a good person and be a terrible person.
Just think about all the millionaires that they go make all this money and they help all these people, but they never at home. They never present.
Yes.
And it's just, go ahead, Justin.
I think that is very complex, and a lot of it could be rooted in ignorance. Your heart can be in the right place, but your actions are wrong because you just don't know. And so but it's complicated for sure.
Yeah,
it's very complicated.
And in final thoughts, I think it go back to what I was saying earlier about being a good person. You go to work, and you provide for your family and all this kind of stuff, but be a lousy father because you never, like I said, never embracing your children, never going to his ball games, encouraging your young fella and all these type of things, letting him know that he can be something in life, even though you may feel like you're not much in life. You can still make a good example for your children, and so they can be better than what you are, should I say. So take some time, take a moment out there, fathers out there, take a moment, hug your sons, tell them you love them. Tell them you're proud of them. You don't want nobody else doing that for you. So take the time and do that. And that's what our final word on that.
I'm gonna close.
You're gonna close?
I'm gonna close this thing out. Okay. Y'all, I'm sorry. We need a part 2.
They on this saying, yeah.
We're gonna do a part 2 of this sooner than later. I think we're gonna come back in December with a part 2. December. We're going to come back with this. Abigail going to get them before they go. I think you guys will want to hear part 2. Now to Neville, Washington. You got on a little late. I'm so sorry you missed the riddle. Or maybe I answered the question so fast.
I answered the riddle
real fast. I love you guys. Thank you all so much. This was an amazing show. I love the guest that was on here. I'm sorry we're running over. This is LV with Val, and we can do it like that.
I just do want to take an opportunity to thank Pastor for coming on to the show today. Thank you for waking up early this morning, coming on to the show. Also want to thank you, Justin B. Long. Every first Saturday, you show up and you show out, and we appreciate you, man. Every first Saturday of the month, you come here. I want to give special thanks to my nephew over here, nephew Doc over here, came in, man, and just lit the mic up and just man, he's so much fire and passion in his heart and in his spirit. I want you to keep that going, brother.
I was really just I was coming to put my resume
You're not
and my
supposed,
application
you're not supposed
in.
to be saying nothing right now. but we love you, man. And man, we wouldn't have it no other way, man. So you know, to wave at the people. God bless y'all. Thank y'all for tuning into the show, man. Come back every Saturday right here on the Love and Victory Show with Val. There she is, right there.
And we're gonna bring them back the first Saturday
December.
of December. They'll be back.
All right.
All right. We love you guys.
Next time.